Okay. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic, less known classic. This episode number 2502 and Doubleshot 2396. I have the start of an era for a book and the end of an era for a book. First we have is, a book that even my friend Tivia is probably looking forward to discussing his channel, because I don't know if he's in a review for this yet. I'm sure he reviewed the year's issues when they came out, but we have Superman by Joshua Williamson, Volume 1, Supercorp. Collecting the first 6 issues of Superman, Volume 6, along with the annual. Still calling it by the year, even though I could call it simply Annual Number 1. DC, Annual Number 1. Why are you still calling the year? That's the only complaint I have about the annual. Alright, of course you have Josh Williamson writing here with Jamal Campbell on the awesome artwork. This guy here, brand new character. He's the chief of police. So, they do kind of the start of this where Maggie Suri is not in these books. Nope, she's been moved over to Bloodhaven. I'm like, what? Yes, that's the strange thing about her. First appeared back in the 80s. What was Metropolis for years. And then around I think it was 2006, I think it was. She got moved to Gotham City. And she was there for over 10 years. And then she went back to Metropolis for the Bendis stuff. And then it's nope, we're not going to keep her here very long. We're back in her, have her back in the series for... Oh, crap. Let's see if we get this done here. I was hoping to go, but the click is going to have to wait a bit. Yep. So basically, she's out, and of course, basically, this new guy, I think his name is Nell, I think it is. So, Superman has to face off against 3 different threats here. We have Parasite back here, we have Livewire back here. Also, LexCorp has been retrofitted to be Supercorp. That's basically what we see here in the background. Yep. And that's today's score for LexCorp. Something new and original. Wow. And of course, Superman does something completely unexpected. He not only helps Parasite in these opening issues, and doing the annual, he's working for Supercorp now. Yep, working for Supercorp. And pretty much basically he's working for Supercorp, and Livewire, who was captured by Superman, and then thanks to a breakout at Stryker's Island, a riot, and she ends up becoming basically a reporter for Daily Planet. I'm like, okay. Oh, by the way, the only reason for Rampage in the opening issue, because they removed her podcast from her streaming service. That's why she's mad. So okay, fine. Lex is helping on the sideline, trying to reform himself. He's no longer a villain, even though he's in jail for murdering Manchester Black. Superman doesn't initially want Supercorp, but probably needs to be. Okay. And of course, so the annual was really good. The annual was simply this, where Superman is not the star of this, it's a supporting cast. So, by the way, Perry White is no longer the editor-in-chief of Daily Planet. He's been replaced by Lois Lane. Now, you're probably thinking, why did this happen? Did he get fired? No, he's taking a sabbatical because he has suffered a heart attack because of the events of what happened with 1050. So, I guess when he recovered, it's he is running for mayor. And apparently also there's this story on Lex Luthor that Perry White buried. I'm that could be a potential story there. Also, Lex is helping out with Superman a lot of the story. He ends up at the end of this very first story getting stabbed, getting shanked in prison. No, he's not dead. No, he's in the hospital for a little while. But what a great way to open up this run. Fantastic. Love the new logo they gave for Superman. I don't think this was the same logo for Bendis' run. No, I think this is a brand new logo. But yeah, and also first new Superman issue published in 2 years. This book is fantastic. Give this book a 10 out of 10. Just that good. Loved it. Next up we have is Spider-Man Volume 2. Who is Spider-Boy? Now, let me talk about this particular book here before I talk about what happens in this book. I initially thought that the revived Spider-Man series was going to be a 7-issue maxi series. And then I saw in the solicits there's going to be another issue. Like, okay, it's going to be 1 or 2 issues. Nope. It's 4 additional issues, but the first 3 issues no one's maxed out. Where Electro has returned. And also, we're trying to figure out who this Spider-Boy is. So, he's also apparently he's got his own Rogues Gallery. Like, that's interesting. By the way, his real name is Bailey Baggins, if you're listening to Edge of Spider-Verse, which they mentioned here, which they don't put the issue in here for some reason. I would have thought that would have been a really good idea to put that short story in here, but they didn't. I'm not sure why. Given the fact Slott wrote it. But yet, it's not here. I don't know why. There's nothing so you can't put it in here. This fact is in the Edge of Spider-Verse trade. Okay, fine. Also, Spider-Boy does help out. Basically deal with the Electro who's gone out of control. And also the whole thing of maxed out is that Spider-Man's, his Spider Sense is gone completely haywire. Apparently, so you kind of think of this basically as the aftermath of that the end of the Spider-Verse story arc. With the Web of Life basically being fully restored. And also Norman Osborn help out here as the Go-Goblin. It does feel like a continuation of stuff basically from the Amazing Spider-Man book per se. But it's almost like you read this like, yeah, this is the better Spider-Man book than what Zeb Wells is doing. But of course, basically the end of this book after 11 issues. I was kind of surprised it lasted 11 issues. But this is replaced with the Spider-Boy series. Written by Dan Slott, Bert Ramos. Now, when Spider-Verse showed up, it's like, who the heck is Spider-Boy? Yeah, and this book kind of explained, and by the final issue, is they basically explain that they explain his origin story, the fact he used to have multiple eyes, but then some training he got with Doctor Strange, his hair got fully recovered, and, well, just became Spider-Boy not long afterwards. They call him Kid Arachnid, but like, no, they call him Spider-Boy instead. Basically, becomes Spider-Man's full partner. Yeah, basically the best way to describe Spider-Boy, it's similar to what happened with Silk. He's a retcon character. Yep, he's a retcon character that Dan Slott created. Like Silk. A character prior to her debut, no one ever heard of her before. And then, well, here we are. I at least got handed for Spider-Boy for this. He's handled a little bit better than Silk. At least Spider-Boy is not doing something... Not like, oh, let's have hormones, basically, where Silk and Peter have to have sex every time we see each other. So I think later on, that's ignored. Yeah. But this actually is really good. I'm giving this book a 9.5 out of 10. Just really good. Sadly, but we have final thoughts on this Spider-Man title. Yeah, this actually is Spider-Man Volume 5, believe it or not. Yes, I initially was surprised Marvel was bringing this title back. And then you have Dan Slott and Mark Bagley at the creators. It's like, okay, I trust Mark Bagley because he's done great work for Spider-Man. Excuse me, though I kind of wish he would do more for Amazing Spider-Man and keep John Romita Jr. away from the book. Slott, I think a lot of people were very hesitant to trust him with this book. Given the fact he spent over a decade writing this character, people felt as though his run was too long. That people thought he just kept... I think it was basically like 2015, 2016. People had this... I was one of the people who actually had this feeling that Slott had ran out of ideas. He basically is burning out. But nope. He kept going and going and going and going and going. At several points, people thought that he was going to leave the book. People thought he would leave with the Spirit of Spider-Man. Nope. Would he leave after Spider-Verse? Nope. Would he leave with Secret Wars? Nope. He didn't finally leave until about 5 years ago. Yep. They reference in here also, in this very book, Amazing Spider-Man 800, which is the issue they call Flash Thompson. Yep. By the way, Flash Thompson here is actually in this book. Actually, he's in another book. I'll talk about him later. But yeah, really good stuff here. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I felt as though this book definitely was a step up from the last book, definitely. It's kind of weird though for this book. Like you have just like technically two stories and a standalone issue. First you have the 7-part end of the Spider-Verse, and you have the 3-parter maxed out, and then you have the standalone Who's the Spider-Boy, which is a backdoor pilot to the Spider-Boy series publishing right now, which I think is like 2 issues in. Yep, but yeah, this is pretty much a particular view. I was gonna go, but looks like I have to do something first. Okay, next view. Bye.